All right. Good afternoon to those of you on the East Coast. Good morning to those of you on the West Coast. I'm your host, Brandon Choi, co-creator of Movers and Shakers Unlimited. Thanks so much for joining us wherever you're watching from. Um, Welcome to this new episode of This Week in Pop Culture, the weekly show that we give you the rundown in the world of pop culture, whether it is film and TV, whether it is sports, local news, and the like. We try to bring you up to speed so that way you guys are not left in the wind. Of course, I'm not going to be alone in talking about these said topics. So without further ado, I want to welcome my co-host, Mr. Spillman Trueheart, aka Spills. What is going on, sir?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and happy Super Bowl Sunday. I'm so excited. We're going to get with friends, eat hot dogs, all kinds of crazy foods, chips, all kinds of stuff. I'm so excited.
Excellent, excellent. So, Spillman, just as you mentioned, it is in fact Super Bowl Sunday. So we have that little small game happening, later on later on today, and we of course will be giving a preview of that said game along with a special guest host who will be joining us. But before we do that, we did have a couple other things that went down. Of course, we had some trailers that dropped this week. I feel like it was like trailer week where we just
It
had a
was
whole
trailer
bunch of
week for
things
sure.
drop for some very hotly anticipated projects that are on the way this year. And of course, aside from the Super Bowl, we did have some craziness with the NBA trade deadline that happened and wrapped up as of this past Thursday. Which was insane in terms of some of the things. And I know you shaking your head because we're going to dive into one of the things that happened that got rescinded uh, uh, per, I guess, just fresh yesterday, if memory
Yeah,
serves. Freshly yesterday. So, with that out of the way, shall we dive in, Spills?
let's get it, baby.
All right, let's get it. So we're gonna start first, as I said, with Trailer Alley. We have it known as Trailer Alley premieres, and we'll start first with our first trailer that dropped on Monday. I'm gonna bring that up for you guys now, and that's none other than Final Destination. Um, this entry being titled Final Destination Bloodlines, and as I said, dropped on Monday. Film directed by Adam Stein, Zach Lepowski. This newest chapter in the horror franchise sees college student Stephanie, who, plagued by a violent reoccurring nightmare, heads home to track down the one person who might be able to break the cycle of death's design and save her family from the grisly demise that inevitably awaits them all. Based on characters created by Jeffrey Redditt, Bloodlines is set to arrive in theaters and IMAX theaters on May 16th. So, Spillman, are you excited to see Death make its return as a horror? I'm not going to say boogeyman or boogie lady, but boogie entity.
I'm going to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. I couldn't get through this trailer. It was too scary. I'm afraid of this movie. It's too scary. Oh, they're doing the thing with the. Oh, no. This is that old familiar Final Destination feeling. So I feel like they recaptured what the Final Destination franchise is all about. The fear of things that could totally happen in real life. Because ever since then, we've all been on the highway and seen that truck overloaded with wood. I'm not
Yes,
going
we
to
have.
drive behind that joint. I get
Yes, we
around
have.
those very fast because Final Destination just puts that fear of a regular death that is quite extraordinary. So I'm just very interested in this one. This one looks like it's going to be a banger. It's coming out in the best month of the year, so I'm all about this one.
Excellent, excellent. I mean, I second all the things that you said. I will say that first, I'll give a shout out to a good friend of the show, Jeffrey Redditt, who I mentioned is the creator of this franchise. It's crazy to believe, and I don't know if this is lost on you, Spillman, but the first Final Destination came out in 2000. So it has been 25 years since we had the first installment of this franchise, and I've always been a fan of it, just based on the fact that outside of like the normal tropes that we would have with a horror franchise, where you have like as I mentioned at the top, you have a boogeyman, you have a monster that's chasing you, or you have a killer who has wielding a weapon of some kind. When we're talking about slasher films, this has always been a fun franchise in that the creativity that has been brought into how death comes after you has always been a fascinating concept when we're talking about this franchise and the creative ways in which it does so. So definitely looking forward to it. Very excited for it. Happy to, have this be a part of our summer season. So diving into our next trailer, we of course also had a new entry in the MCU that is hotly anticipated, and of course that would be the Fantastic Four. Just to give a little details about our Marvel's First Family. As I said, the teaser debuted on Tuesday, set to arrive in theaters on July 25th. Provided us a look at each member of Marvel's First Family, as well as his big bad Galactus. Spillman, are you excited to see this next entry in the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Oh yeah, I think that they have really captured a lot of the things that made the Fantastic Four the first family of Marvel comic books. I think in previous generations, they were a little bit more amorphous about how much people really like this Fantastic Four. I mean, they don't wear masks. We know who they are. They married and stuff. Like it's a real family. So, like, I like that they leaned into that aspect of the Fantastic Four. Also, shout outs to Herbie getting his first on screen appearance. That was pretty cool.
Yes,
I like
indeed,
that.
indeed.
I like some of the like Easter eggs they put in there. Like they put in Thrax, the one of the heralds of Galactus, the guy with the beard that you see. That's one of the heralds of Galactus. So, and you saw
People have been
Galactus' big
saying
old
that.
head,
I don't
huh?
know. People have been saying that, but people have also been speculating that he's playing like a really deep cut villain called he's called Red
Oh,
something. You
he's
got
playing
to
a
look.
red ghost. Then he's playing a red
Yeah,
ghost.
yeah. A lot of
So he
people are
gonna
saying
have
that
him.
is Red
He gonna
Ghost.
have. Okay, it might be the red ghost too. That is true. He might
Okay.
be the red ghost because he doesn't look very spacey. You're right about that. So,
I'm
ladies
gonna
and
go.
gentlemen.
I'm gonna go with an even deeper cut, and I'm gonna say that he could be either one of those two characters, or they may not be telling us or sharing all the details, and perhaps he might be Franklin Richards.
Oh,
Maybe it might be a older version of Franklin Richards, in that when we're talking about, for those of you who are not aware, Franklin Richards is the son of Reed Richards and Sue Storm, and I know in the comics there have been instances where the older version of Franklin Richards has come to see the younger version of himself. And with this film being called First Steps, I understand that we more than likely will see Franklin Richards in this film, which is already dense as it is, of already having Galactus and having the Silver Surfer pop up in here, and we're not even going to get what is it, Norrin Rad
no, Nora Rad.
version.
Yeah.
So it will be interesting. I will be interested. I'm glad that they didn't spoil a lot of things in this trailer. So and I'm glad we don't have I always call it a fart cloud Galactus. I'm glad we don't have that
Oh
either.
yeah, Amorphous Galactus. The
Yeah.
idea of a Galactus. I have
Yes.
ideas of a Galactus. Yeah, that was pretty.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah. So
how do you feel
um
about the thing? Do you feel like because they didn't go with the visual effect, they just went with the visual effect? How do you feel about the thing?
I'm cool with what we've seen of like how the character looks. My only thing, and a lot of people have commented on this already, so I don't take credit for it, is if we're talking about a character that has like a rocky exterior, a lot of times when we have seen it, and you can agree with this too, when we have seen it growing up, both of us in the cartoon iterations, they've implemented that into the voice as well. So that was the only thing that kind of threw me, was him having a normal voice. because I feel like you also need to apply how his exterior looks to how his voice may sound also. And I mean, it doesn't have to be like completely jarring, but I feel like there needs to be some semblance of like uh
Mm.
illustration of what his exterior looks like and how his voice would sound. So that would be my only nitpick thing. But as I said, I can't take credit for it because a lot of people have mentioned that too, and I agree.
Yeah, but I mean, I think they did a good job with him. I think that, obviously
Yeah,
the worst
otherwise
one
I'm
was the
cool.
one.
Otherwise I'm good.
Yeah. I don't know. Also, the Human Torch looks cool, but I don't feel like they ever truly capture Human Torch. Like it just looks like he's a red person on screen a lot of times instead of
Yeah,
like somebody who's truly like on fire. So that's like
yeah.
another thing. But yeah,
They have time though. I mean, it comes
they
out
do.
in July. They have time to, tweak whatever things they need to tweak. They can even, as people have commented on, they could even go back and do some things with the voice too between now and then. So we'll see.
Hmm.
But I am excited about it. Wednesday, we also had a debut of a trailer, and that's of course Jurassic World, otherwise known as Jurassic World Rebirth, and boasting an all-star cast that includes the likes of Scarlett Johansson, Mahershala Ali, Jonathan Bailey, and Rupert Friend. And helmed by visualist Gareth Edwards, the film, according to the synopsis, commences 5 years after the events of prior entry Jurassic World Dominion, as the ecology has proven largely inhospitable to dinosaurs. Those remaining dinosaurs exist in isolated environments with climates resembling the one in which they once thrived. The three most colossal creatures, according to the synopsis, across land, sea, and air within the tropical biosphere hold in their DNA the key to a drug that will bring miraculous life-saving benefits to humankind. Jurassic World Rebirth is set to arrive in theaters on July 2nd. Spillman, are you excited for further dino mayhem, or are you ready for this franchise to become extinct?
I feel like they done gone to the well far too many times with these Jurassic Park movies. But you know, my son be like, I feel like the thing about the Jurassic Park movies is they've moved into a lane. Like, if you ever seen that good Mel Brooks film, um, Spaceballs, he says we are in it for the merchandising. They can sell a T-Rex to almost every kid in America. So you got to think that's a replenishing value. So they got to keep putting the movies out, I guess, so that they can make new dinosaurs. Then you got to pick up the new dinosaur because then they got, oh, this T-Rex has red eyes. That's not the same kind of T-Rex. So I don't know. They got an all-star cast. They're making money. I can't be mad at it, but again, it's just like, okay, yeah, we get it. This dinosaurs.
Yeah, no, I hear you. The cynical side of me agrees with you just in the idea of the dollar signs when it comes to merchandising. But um, as someone who growing up, and I've touched on this as a youngster at one point, I wouldn't have been doing movies and Shakers Unlimited. I might have been a paleontologist because I was that obsessed with dinosaurs growing up. But be that as it may, in talking about this franchise, I do feel like we are at a time where they need to come up with a different way to approach this franchise. Even in the trailer itself, it seems like it's throwing way too many ideas all at once. And a lot of times when you are putting together, trying to have a concept that you want to illustrate to your audience, sometimes it doesn't pay to have too many things going on at once, and to just have just one primary thing to set it up. Just to give you an example of what I mean, they comment on, oh, this was the park where, or I should say, this was the place where it started it all. Okay, so are we going to be going back to places that we've already been thus far in the franchise? Like, are we going to, what is it, Isla Nublar, which was the place where we have the original Jurassic Park? Are we going to be going to Sorna, Isla Sorna, which is where what we have for the Lost World, or Site B, if you will? Or will this be a brand new place? on top of that too, they talk about the idea of, okay, we also have the most, these are the dinosaurs that they never brought to the park because they were way too dangerous. Okay, again, all of these are great ideas, but on their introducing them all as separate things concerns me and makes me think that this is going to be a film that brings up interesting ideas and has interesting concepts, but has too many things going. And then at the end of the day, on top of both of those things is just the idea that you have to give me a plausible reason why these people are going back to bother these dinosaurs.
There's
Like,
a part in the beginning
like
of it where the lady's like, "Where are we going?" It's like, "Lady, the island with the dinosaurs. It's the most
but I'm
famous
like,
island in the world. What are you talking about?"
but here's the thing. They talk about the idea of, okay, we're trying to find a cure. Great. But again, it's still not practical enough for me to understand that the dinosaurs are not bothering you. They're staying out of the way. They're not bothering you, and you're going to them to bother them. And then you're concerned about like what may happen. Yeah, like you're in their territory. Like, why do we keep bothering these dinosaurs and let them be? So the only reason why I say that too is because I can at least say with the recent Alien film, right? Alien Romulus, there was a practical reason why they had to go up to that ship, because if we didn't have a valid reason why they were going up to that ship, I would have this same problem too of why are we going up to this ship that, you know, is clearly something that's happened, but they
Just blow it up.
yeah, but I'm saying they established that they did our characters really didn't have anything else waiting for them at home. Like they had a slow death, and I'm sorry, I may go into slight spoilers with the film, but they might have had a slow death based on how the conditions were on their planet, or they can take the chance of trying to get what they need from the ship, so that way they can get away from that life that was awaiting them. And we don't really have that here. Like, yes, you need a cure, but in the trailer it established that the dinosaurs, unlike what we had in Dominion, didn't like overtake the earth, because I guess the environment wasn't hospitable enough for them to take over the earth, which also an idea that they flubbed is just that idea of the dinosaurs taking over. Like it's all right there. Like you could have just continued what you had with the dinosaurs taking over, and you guys continuing to coexist. But again, I digress. I can go
They should
on a
do a
soapbox.
Flintstone style movie and have all the dinosaurs
No, I'm
talking.
saying you have it right there. Like I used to have a book called what is it?
Dinotopia.
Yeah, I used to, like, it's right there.
But
Just
that's the
adapt
thing. I feel like
just
that's where
adapt
they don't.
Dinotopia.
They don't really. It's like they could make it like Pokemon, low key, and everybody can have their own personal dinosaur, and you'd be like, "Oh, I got a Stego."
But I'm saying, and then you can go into like the military part where instead of them having tanks down there fighting with dinosaurs, and they're like, man, like, it's all right there.
As Brandon puts on his tinfoil hat.
That's what I'm saying. You can do a dystopian. Can you imagine that? You can do a dystopian Jurassic World where folks are coexisting with dinosaurs and they're a part of everyday life. Like, I'm sorry, it irritates me to no end. But we'll see. I'll be there and check it out. But yeah, I'm a little skeptical. It's too much stuff, and they messed up ideas that they could have continued. Yeah, I have issues. I have
Also, I want to point out, ladies and gentlemen, that Laker fan number one and Lakers matched up perfectly on this screen, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to make sure that Brandon can see that because, still number one, baby.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, we'll see. As I said, it comes out this summer. I'm looking forward to what's going to come about with it. But yeah. But that's going to do it for what we have for our trailer alley premieres. Now we're going to switch gears to our sports cooler talk. And of course, we're going to be previewing the big game, but we're also going to be talking about a little NBA as well. As I said, that chaotic trade deadline that went down. However, we have a special guest host joining us first before we get there. So diving into today's guest host, he has produced, written, directed, and acted in a number of award-winning indie films. The first being the indie hit horror comedy The Night Watchman. The second film being the award-winning horror comedy A Comedy of Horrors Volume 1, which he wrote, directed, produced, and starred in. Last but not least, you have his recent project, A Town Called Purgatory, which is continuing to make a splash on the festival circuit. It is my pleasure to welcome back to the show, Mr. Ken Arnold. Let me see if I can bring him on. Let's see. Hold on. Here we go. Ken, hello.
Hey, what's happening?
Oh, go Birds.
Go Birds.
So, Ken, how's it going, Chief?
Oh, hey. Big day. It's a big day here in the Arnold household. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right.
Big
All
day.
right. So with that out of the way, as I said, we did have, before we dive into our preview, I just want to briefly talk about what went down across the NBA and the chaos that happened with the player movement that we saw over that week that wrapped up on Thursday. For brevity's sake, I wanted to comment on some of the big names that were moved, and I wanted to get each of your respective thoughts. I'll start first by, and I know we talked about it briefly last week, but we can comment on it now because I still feel like there are ripple effects with that. Is Luka Doncic going to the Lakers and Anthony Davis going to the Mavs? For either of you, I'll punt it over to you, Ken. To get your brief thoughts.
Yeah, let's get the guests going.
And then I was going to say, Spills, I'll give it to you because I know you're the Lakers guy. So
yeah, for sure.
All right, so guys, I got to be honest with you.
Yes.
I haven't watched the NBA in a long
Oh wow, okay.
I really haven't. But what I hear is, Luka and LeBron on the same team. Not sure how that's going to work out, right? How it's going to mesh. That's what I've been hearing. So, I don't know because I don't watch the NBA as much as I used to. Long time ago, I was such a huge NBA fan, and then I just kind of got away from it. I don't watch the NHL that much anymore either. So, both of those sports, I'm just not really a big fan anymore for some reason. It's not that I don't like basketball. I love basketball and I love hockey. I just don't watch them like I used to. Football is probably the one thing that I'm really into, and I watch a little bit of baseball, and I even played professional baseball. So
exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. All right. So Spills, go ahead. Take it away, sir. I'll give you the floor.
I just want to say
briefly, because I know you could go on.
Briefly, no, I just want to say they were cheating. I know that they tried to trade us Max Kleber. I mean, the guy from Charlotte. That was sad. We got Luka. That's good. But it looks like Anthony Davis got hurt last night. So I feel like out right before the lock. Like Indiana Jones slide, and then also, I forgot my hat. I put my hat on, so I think that was cool. Yeah. So we'll see. Some of these teams, people need new places to go. For sure.
Yeah, I would say the biggest thing for me is what we saw with the Spurs getting De'Aaron Fox from the Kings, and what is it? Who did they get for the Kings? I know that was a 3-way trade.
They got Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, they got Zach LaVine, and I think that's probably a lot of people are sleeping on it. That's going to be the biggest steal of this entire draft because we've mentioned it before, pairing him with Victor Wembanyama. People are
that's
really
gonna be a
sleeping
problem.
on that, how that's going to be a problem. The only other thing that I feel like a lot of people are paying attention to, but I don't think is really going to really have legs is Kyle Kuzma going to the Bucks and Chris Middleton going to the Wizards. Like Chris Middleton and Marcus Smart, I believe.
Yeah,
going to the Wizards. So while you can't make the Wizards any worse, they are going to get better by default.
Yeah, I feel like any of those guys you can get rid of. Any of them.
But yeah, those I would say those are the primary things. But Yeah, like there were a lot of insane things. I would say even with, and this is local, and I know we've commented on this before. Ken is talking about KD and local product KD, and his potential movement. There were a number of
Stay home.
teams,
Yeah.
understandably so, that were trying to snatch a KD even up until 2 hours before apparently the trade deadline, which was 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursday. So even up to the last 2 hours prior to that, and he could have ended up on the Warriors. I'm bummed didn't get him on the Warriors, but he also could have apparently ended up. It was another team too. They were talking about the Mavericks, and there was one more, wasn't it, Spills? I feel like there was one more outside of Dallas that they were talking about.
Not that
T-Wolves. It was a T-Wolves.
Oh yeah,
the T-Wolves. But speaking of the Warriors, and then we'll wrap it up and get into our Super Bowl talk. Is we did get Jimmy Butler. So
good luck with that.
I know.
Good luck with that. Good luck with that.
There was a lot.
That's like when you break up with somebody and you see them immediately with somebody else. You're like, hey man, those are your problems now. That's not my problems anymore. That's just for you, sir. Be happy with that. Please be happy with that.
I was like, Ken, I'll punt it over to you too, because I know you said you haven't been following basketball, but even if I feel like even if you're not following basketball, a lot of the drama that has been happening with Jimmy Butler is still all over like the sports world. So
yeah,
what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm the same way. Yeah, good riddance. Yeah, have fun. Have fun with Jimmy Butler. Yeah, good luck with that.
So here's the thing. Here's my thing, and I mentioned this to you, Spills. Is Jimmy Butler is an incredible defensive force. And we could use. I'm from those that don't know, I'm a Warriors guy. We could use some defense. Yes, we have Draymond Green, but having another force like Jimmy Butler on paper seems like it would be a good fit. However, because of all the other drama and all the other antics that he does, I don't know if that is going to be a fit long term with someone who's already dramatic enough in the form of Draymond Green. So even though they did demonstrate that they could, that he could fit within that team, I believe they won the game that he just had in his debut. I feel like it's more so because of what you have when a trade first happens. You're kind of in that honeymoon stage, so to speak, when a new player is kind of fitting into the new team. And when the chips are really down, I'll be curious to see how that's really going to work. Because on paper, like I said, it's incredible to have both of them on that team. But with all the other that come with them, I don't know if it's worth the trouble. So
that's a pit bull and a Rottweiler in your house. Just two of them just sitting there. You don't know which one's gonna bite which one first, but it's gonna happen. One of them's gonna bite the other one.
Indeed. So diving over to what we have with our big game, our preview, if you will. So let me pull that up for you guys now. Of course, later on today, we have the Super Bowl, which will see the Kansas City Chiefs battle the Philadelphia Eagles, seeing a rematch of the Super Bowl a few years ago. On one side, you have the Chiefs chasing a historic three-peat with this year's game, and the Eagles seeking to spoil that feat. So, gentlemen, what say you? I'm going to hand it over to you, Ken. Give you the floor since you are our Eagles guy.
Well, what I'm going to say is we're a different team than we were 2 years ago. Absolutely. Yes. Our defense is way better. There is not one defensive player from that side of the ball except Brandon Graham. Everybody else is different on that defense. Brandon Graham probably won't play that much anyway because he's coming off of injury. But our defensive backs are way better. Our linebackers are way better than the linebackers we had last Super Bowl that we were in against the Chiefs. And our front defensive line, like Jalen Carter, he's a beast. He's a monster, and he is going to tear some people up today. And all he needs to do is make 2 or 3 big plays against Mahomes, and I think we got a shot. We got a shot to win. Last time we couldn't stop him at all. Couldn't stop Mahomes once, and they outscored us. It was a close game, right? But we gave up 38 points.
Yeah.
We stop them one time, we win, but we just couldn't the last time. This time, our defense is, Nick Fangio has done an excellent job with that defense, number 1 rated defense in the NFL. And, we got the offense. Offensively, we're going to score. We just are. We got Barkley. We've got A.J. Brown. We got Jalen Hurts. I mean, it's just we have, skill. Everybody's very skilled at their positions. We're going to score. We just got to stop them. That's all.
Indeed. Spillman?
I'm just so jealous of you right now. We were so close. We had a quarterback for the first time in the history of the world. We actually had a quarterback this year, ladies and gentlemen, and he was throwing lasers all over the field all the time. Then we went up against the big green monster, and the big green monster hit us upside the head real hard. And it just like, I don't know. I don't think that you're wrong. I think Philly's got everything that they need, but that Patrick Mahomes somehow he just didn't he score a touchdown 2 years ago with like 10 seconds left? Like 10 seconds, they gave him 10 seconds, and he's got a score. Who is this guy? He's just
he finds ways to
unstoppable, and it's just like
yes. And Andy Reid's always got a great game plan.
Yes.
He just does. He'll have them ready. He'll have Kansas City ready, and he'll find the weaknesses in Philly's defense, and he'll exploit them. He will. And then Mahomes is that good that he'll take advantage of every mistake the Eagles make. He will capitalize on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with anything either of you guys have said. I would just say, just in general, just the idea of, as you mentioned, Ken, like the Eagles are not the Eagles that they played before, and even I would say they're even better than the Tom Brady Bucks that the Chiefs lost to. So the Chiefs definitely have a challenge on their hands when we're talking about the Eagles. And then on the other side, I feel like there is, as much as they may want to kind of downplay it, there is a lot of pressure in that idea of being that first team, of having that three-peat and making, going after history like that. So I feel like that is going to be the biggest thing. Are they going to be able to rise to the moment of going after history? And will the Eagles be willing to say that they are the team that allowed that to happen, which I don't really see happening. That you hate to be the team that is on the other side of history of allowing a team to make history in any said feat. Speaking as a former athlete as well, Spillman, you too. You never want to be able to be on the other side of that of anything that another team is able to achieve in defeating you. So there are a lot of components in play, whether we're talking about the Eagles with their defense, will they be able to stop Mahomes? If we're talking about the Chiefs, will they be able to stop the run with Barkley? Will the Eagles be able to counter that with with their passing game? So it will definitely be an interesting game. I don't think that it's going to be a blowout by any means. I do believe that it's going to be a close game, but I have the Eagles eking it out versus our Chiefs, because I think that nerves are going to be tight in terms of trying to chase history. As much as they want to downplay how that's not a big deal, it is a big deal. And then I feel like that's going to kind of get in the way this year. So, but do you guys have any additional thoughts about our said upcoming game? And it could be even other things. Of course, we have those commercials that we also have with the game, and we also have our halftime show as well.
Oh, the halftime show! I'm ready for that.
Yeah, the halftime show is always a good time. It just is. And watching the commercials, it's always fun as well. I always, in between, especially when the Eagles aren't playing, in between, I'm just like, all right, be quiet. The commercials are on, because I'm looking for my friends. I'm looking for the actors that I know who may be in this. They usually don't announce it, the actor friends I have, until the day of the Super Bowl, and they'll say, yeah, look for me today or this or that. So I'll be looking for people that I recognize and people that I know, friends of mine, and it's always a fun time. I will say one thing about the game, back to the game itself.
Yes.
The Eagles are 5-0 on artificial turf this year, and they've only given up 11.6 points per game. So they do play well on turf, And the last time they played in the Super Bowl, that surface was terrible. It was real grass, and the surface was terrible, and they were slipping all over the place in the first half. They made an adjustment at halftime, but I think it kind of hurt the Eagles in the last time they played the Chiefs. This time, I don't think that that's going to be an issue. I think because of the artificial turf, the Eagles will be able to dominate with their speed on both sides of the ball. I really do.
I was going to say, and then to add to that, Ken, another statistical element is since their bye week in week 5, the Eagles have been winning by a margin of 13.8 points as well. So I will mention that as well.
And boy, did we help put that number up last week. Oh my God, man. Oh, they put it on our heads last week.
That's true.
Look, I don't feel bad for you guys, but because you're in our division and we smacked you back one. But you guys are going to be good coming up over the next 4 or 5 years. You got Jaden Daniels. He's a great quarterback. He's young, but he's going to learn, and he's going to even get better than he was this season. So you guys got a lot to look forward to, and I'm looking forward to all the matches between the Commanders and the Eagles coming up over the next how many years? It's going to be great.
It's going to be. I feel like the division championship will either come through y'all or us, depending on how the year goes. So
yeah, well, hopefully it's never it's never the Cowboys.
I don't want to see the Cowboys either. No, sir. No, sir.
Well, man, I will briefly punt it over to you because I want you to be able to get your 2 cents in as well. Final thoughts on the Super Bowl, and it could be any element of it.
I think that this will go down possibly as the pettiest Super Bowl of all times because Drake Drake had to fly to Australia so that he could get a whole day away from it. It's already Monday for Drake. It's already Monday. The Super Bowl never technically happened for him. So I just it's going to be amazing just to see somebody on stage just airing grievances. It's going to be truly amazing. I can't wait.
He actually performs that song. So
he has to.
Yeah,
he has to.
Yeah. But that is going to do it for this week in pop culture. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Ken, I'm going to punt it over to you first as our guest host. Thank you for hopping on. Can you tell folks where they can find you?
Oh, yeah. They can find me at Ken Arnold Actor on Instagram. They can follow me there. I post there about all the films and the projects that I'm working on currently. And hey, if you want to stop by for all your fishing needs, come see me at Bass Pro Shops at the Arundel Mills Mall. I'll help you out.
All right. Excellent. Spills, take it away.
All right. You can see me, on Instagram at Truly Spill. That's what I always do,
Fireworks
for us, hearts for everyone. Let's make sure that we, like and subscribe. But again, do not drink and drive. You can call Uber. They can get you home for free. Stop drinking and driving, ladies and gentlemen. Back to you, Brandon.
Facts.
Again, I want to thank Ken Arnold and Spills for hopping on this week in pop culture. You can find me at Brandon Choi ENT, which you see down below, and also Brandon Choi _ENT on IG. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be safe out there and enjoy the Super Bowl, y'all.
Peace.